All right, guys, so we got to discuss what, in my opinion, is a massive leak that these so-called race crusaders should be talking about, okay? Because it involves evidence of what I would define as racism in our politics, right? Except that this type of racism doesn't fit the narrative, so you will never, ever hear anything about it. However, if the roles will reverse here in regards to race and what this person is saying about another race, we all know there will be an uproar in mainstream liberal media. There will be calls for this person to resign, to step down. It will not be tolerated at all, okay? But however, some people in this country can get away with overt racism because they can claim the oppressed card. And the story they were talking about here today involves, once again, more leaked audio from Project Veritas exposing Democratic South Carolina State Rep and U.S. Senate candidate Krystle Matthews saying that you have to treat white people like ish, right? That's what she's saying. She's openly saying treat white people like you know what. Again, this happened after the same person was caught essentially saying that they need to run Democrat sleeper candidates in Republican races, so run Democrats as fake Republicans. She said that she would be totally fine with accepting illegal money, right? Money made from illegal activities for her campaign. She also said that gang members like Bloods and Crips should run for Congress, right? And run to try to get elected in politics. This woman has made all types of outlandish and crazy claims that, in my opinion, should disqualify her from public office, right? I mean, we all know it would if, again, somebody else of another race were making these claims. So, without further ado, I want to go ahead and play this clip so you guys can hear it. But before I get in, I just want to let you guys know, if you like my channel, you support my channel, you can check out my merch, my donkeypox shirts, the disease that's affecting America, or my hashtag no days off / hard work patriotic t-shirts, or my MAGA Hub shirts. There are plenty of merch for you guys to check out at my website, gforemanbcp.com. Get 20% off. Discount code gforemanbcp. So without further ado, roll the clip.
My district is heavily Republican and it's heavily white. Wow. I'm not a stranger to white people. I'm from a mostly white town. Yeah. And let me tell you one thing. You gotta know who you're dealing with. Like, you gotta treat them like Like, I mean, that's the only way to respect you. Like, I keep them right here, like under my thumb. Like, that's where I keep them. Like, you have to. Otherwise, they get out of control like kids.
Trust me.
So, you know, like, for me, all these other people are tiptoeing around them, and I'm like, no, that's some white I ain't doing that. They'd be like, well, I'm just going to say it's some white And that was my problem with Bernie, because he was talking to an all-black crowd, and he was afraid to say black I said, if I'm talking to an all-black crowd, I'm going to say black Now, if you don't like it, you get your white ass up and leave.
As far as getting people to infiltrate on the other side and everything, because the only way to get to be the army is from the inside out.
We need somebody who understands street games that we can clean up and put in a suit. That knows, like, again, we all working toward the same goal, and we all know what the play is.
Right.
It's almost like a secret society. Exclusive membership.
Right.
We need that watch. Where's the gangsters? Where's the street at?
Yeah, so what you just heard there, guys, was an example of overt racism, okay? In the sense that this person is saying, look, I come from a mostly white town, and I treat white people like ish, okay? Because if you don't treat them like that, then they get out of control like kids. Now, imagine if the roles were reversed here. Imagine if a white person, specifically a white man, because they really hate when a blue-eyed white man says stuff like this, right? Older white man, okay? He says, I treat black people like ish, because if you don't treat them like ish, they won't respect you and they will act like kids. They'll get out of line. If a elected representative, an elected official that was white and a male and older said something like that, and Republicans well too, boy, the mainstream, they will be losing their minds. Okay, there will be calls to resign left and right. However, this woman has been exposed multiple times, not only saying stuff like this, but again, saying stuff like we need gang members to join politics, to infiltrate politics, and also saying that she'd be more than happy to accept illegal money into her campaign. Nobody's calling for this person to step down, right? Nobody's calling for her to, hey, you know what? Maybe you shouldn't be campaigning for U.S. Senate, right? Maybe you're not qualified. Maybe, just maybe, we shouldn't have people like you in our politics. But again, for whatever reason, if you're a certain skin color or race, you can get away with saying whatever you want. It doesn't matter how racist it is. Doesn't matter. You can say whatever you want to say. And nobody's going to question it and say, oh, no, actually, is that not racism, right? Is that not racist? Because we wouldn't be cool with that if a white man said something like that. Why should we be cool with it when you say stuff like that? Again, it really blows my mind how certain people get special privileges and then they claim they're oppressed. Oh, no, you white privilege. Well, you're white, and if a white person says something like that, they will be basically demolished in the media. Black people can say stuff like that, or so-called people color can say stuff like that, and they get praised for it. Well, that's just social justice, right? They're just fighting for equal rights. No, they're fighting for special rights, okay? But this woman right here has to be exposed, right? And that's why I'm doing this video, because people need to be aware of the candidates that are running in these races and who they are, right? And the fact that they can't be in our office. This woman hates white people, right? She's a racist, okay? The same way if a white person was exposed and they flat out, said they hate black people, you got to treat them like ish and blah, 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 we would say, no, they shouldn't be allowed in Congress, right? We shouldn't have that type of racism in Congress. Again, it has to go both ways, man. It has to go both ways. Either everybody can say stuff like this or nobody can say stuff like this. Because I'm totally fine with going a free speech route and saying, hey, well, hey, everybody should be allowed to say stuff like this. Okay, say whatever you want to say. And you shouldn't be calling for people to step down just because they say stuff that you don't like, that you think is racist or that may be racist. I'm just saying, if one group of people is allowed to say racist stuff, everybody should be allowed to say racist stuff. If one group of people is not allowed to say racist stuff, nobody should be allowed to say racist stuff. It's really that simple. You can't have your cake and eat it too. I just want consistency. Just pick one, right? Pick one. I'm fine with either one. I would rather go the free speech route, but pick one. That's all I'm saying. But again, Democrats, they're totally fine with treating white people like ish. And that's where the truth comes in here, right? What she's saying is actually true when it comes to the Democrat Party strategy, is to treat white people like ish. That's what they do, right? What they always talk about how bad white people are is a way to virtue signal to non-whites to vote for them. Hey, white people are terrible. Who screams that more than anybody? White liberals, right? They say that more than anybody. So again, what she's saying here is what the Democrats, that's what their strategy is. But their strategy is racist, okay? It is. It's racist. When you want to smear a whole group of people solely based off the color of their skin. But again, I mean, this is the party of Dixiecrats, right? This is the party of Jim Crow, right? Literally, they're the party of Jim Crow. They just pretend like they're not anymore. They claim they're not, but every time you look, the racism is always coming out of the Democrat Party, whether it be against black people or conservative whites, because that's who they're really talking about when they advocate for discrimination and racism against whites. They're talking about conservative whites. They're not talking about white elitist liberals. They always keep the power, right? They always keep the power. Because, Harvard and Yale, they're not discriminating against, the white liberal families that have went to those universities for generations, right? Affirmative action doesn't affect them. They don't take away spots from those whites. They take away spots from the whites that come from conservative families that may not necessarily have as much income and opportunity, but their kids worked hard and earned a spot in an Ivy League institution. However, they're not going to get their shot or their spot in the institution because, hey, affirmative action, we need to get a spot to somebody that's a person of color that doesn't have as good as credentials because you're white. But again, the family of the rich white liberals, though, okay, and their son, who's not as qualified, he'll get in because, daddy's money. And that's basically how the game works, right? Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a black conservative perspective. Peace.